Hello, welcome to Zen Soul Balance. I am Jenny, and today's class is a Yin Yoga practice targeting the QL muscles in the low back. The QL muscles are actually the deepest abdominal muscles, and they are commonly referred to as these low back muscles in the lumbar region. Around 60 to 70% of people experience low back discomfort or pain or tightness at some stage in their life, and one of the most common reasons for this stems from the QL muscles. And our daily activities can aggravate these muscles, such as prolonged sitting if you work at a desk a lot, or perhaps you travel a lot, or other types of activities can cause some irritation in these muscles. One of the amazing remedies for tight QL muscles is Yin Yoga. These are long-held postures. The magic ingredient of Yin Yoga is time, not intensity. So I would like to encourage you in your practice to hold these postures anywhere from about 2 minutes to 7 minutes. Today we'll be holding the postures from about 3 to 4 minutes, and we're only going to practice a few postures that I think will help you find some relief in your low back. We're going to start with a lateral flexion, which is side bending, also forward bending. Then we're going to make our way down onto the back, and we'll do a twisting posture that will help to therapeutically compress the spine, and we'll finish the practice with a full decompression of the spine from lumbar to thoracic into the cervical spine. I have props here that I like to use to help support your practice. I have a couple blocks as well as a bolster. So go ahead and grab your props and let's get started. Let's start today in butterfly pose with the soles of the feet touching and the knees lay out to either side. I'm going to demonstrate two different options, and then you will need to find which one works best for you. Okay, so get your blocks situated to the right hand side, slightly at an angle. From here, you'll take a side bend. Start by side bending over to the right. This is lateral flexion of the spine. And then start to forward fold and let your arms come onto your blocks. I like my upper arm bone to come onto the blocks, and then bend the elbow and let the head rest into your hand. The upper arm, let that arm bone just rest on the side of the head if that feels okay for you. Find a position that feels good for you. Slightly lean your weight forward, maybe a little bit more, kind of rock yourself forward and back until you feel the sensation in the lower part of the left side of your lumbar region, searching for that QL stretch. If this one is not a good one for you, I actually prefer the butterfly forward fold like this, using blocks and a bolster. And then I lean myself forward and angle myself over to the right and eventually forward fold. Now you can keep an upright spine if that helps you by kind of protecting the low back. Otherwise, if it feels good to allow the spine to slightly round, you may get a little bit deeper into that QL muscle group on the left side of the spine. I'm going to go ahead and start the timer now. This will be a 3-minute hold. So ease yourself into it. Once you've found a position that you can hold, do your best to unengage all the muscular effort around that left side of the lumbar region of your back. Try to relax around your hips as well. Try to support your head. You can be creative with the use of your props so that the bones feel fully supported. The muscles can relax as much as possible. So start to establish your breath pace. Nice, smooth, rhythmic inhalation and exhalation. You have arrived to your halfway point in this hold. This is your opportunity to check in. Notice if you're holding on to any resistance. Is there anywhere you can soften just a little bit more? Breathe a little deeper. So breathe into the tightness and then exhale out the tension. Final few rounds of breath here. Breathe a little deeper. Maybe even take an open mouth exhalation. Slowly start to ease yourself up. Make your way back to center the neutral spine. Draw the arms and hands back behind you. Straighten the legs out in front of you for a moment. Fold into yourself by dropping the chin down towards the chest. And now bend your knees, let your feet come to the mat, heel toe the feet out towards the edges of the mat, take a sway of the legs from side to side in a windshield wiper motion. Just loosening up around the low back a little bit more, around the hips, rehydrating the tissues before we go into the second side. Go one more time on each side. Make your way back to center. Once again, butterfly, soles of the feet touch, knees lay out to either side. You can draw the feet in a little bit closer, perhaps feet in the middle, or maybe the feet a little bit further away. Find the position that works best for you. We call this functional alignment. Move your props over to the left side this time, depending on how you're going to use them. I'll demonstrate once again on this side. You may choose to use your blocks stacked one on top of the other or side by side. You can take that lateral flexion side bend, right arm comes up and over, left arm reaches forward. So you're not only side bending, but you're also forward folding just enough so you can start to feel that sensation, hunting for the stretch in that QL muscle group. This time now we're working onto the right side. And if you prefer to take the forward fold, and then angle yourself over to the left, like I like to do, that option may work better for you. Just take the time here to situate yourself and to settle yourself in, to find the position where you feel the most effective sensation. This should be a mild to moderate level of sensation in that right QL muscle group. So don't go too deep too fast. Only go to about 50% of your full range of motion in the first half of the hold. I've started our 3-minute timer now. Let the shoulders begin to relax. Nice, smooth, steady breath pace. Softening as much as you can in the target area. Working on that right side this time. Try to relax your hips, relax your legs. Soften the tension around your eyes and relax your jaw. And we're now at the halfway point. Take a moment to check in. If the body gives you the green light, perhaps you can readjust your props. Maybe you go a little bit deeper into the shape, or maybe you stay just as you are, breathing a little deeper, relaxing a little more. Remember, time, not intensity, is the magic ingredient here. What we're doing here is we are working through those fascial patterns, helping you to create more space, to become more flexible, mobile around the spine. Releasing that tension with each exhalation, letting it all go. Final moments here. Let the breath get a little deeper. Take an open mouth sigh. And then very slowly, tenderly ease yourself up and out of the shape. Legs come out in front of you straight for a moment. Hands come back behind you. Once again, let the chin drop down, fold into yourself. We call this the rebound in Yin Yoga. This is your opportunity to observe the subtle shifts of energy happening inside of you. Just notice what you feel in and around your low back. Start to deepen your breath. Bend your knees, let the feet come onto the mat. Once again, heel toe the feet out towards the edges of the mat. Take a sway of the legs from side to side into a windshield wiper motion once again. So these QL muscles play a very important role in stabilizing the low back and providing support as well for the spine. And our goal here is just to release the tension, to create more space. Let's go one more time on each side. And then make your way down onto your back. Place your props onto the left side if they're not already there. They should be, since we were just doing that seated position. But for this one, cat tail pose, which is a twisting position, I like to often use either my blocks or my bolster for my legs to rest on. Once you make your way down onto your back, take a moment to hug the knees into the chest. You can hold the shins or back sides of the thighs. Option here to sway from side to side. It may feel good for you in the low back if you do sway from side to side, or maybe even a circular motion. But for other people, holding in stillness works best. So always important to listen to your body. It will speak to you through sensations. Modify the practice so that it works best for you. So cat tail pose is where we're going next. Lower the feet down onto the mat. Walk your feet over to the right side of your mat. Pick your hips up and guide the hips over to the right as well. Then lay your left leg down flat. Hug your right knee in towards the chest and then guide the leg over towards the left. You might need to pick your hips up slightly and readjust yourself so that right leg is crossing the midline. This is where the prop may come in handy. You can place the bolster, cushion, or blocks underneath that leg. Unless it feels good floating in space, that's another option as well. Now from here, your left leg, your lower leg will bend. That becomes your cat tail. So bend that left leg and then start to wiggle that leg back some so that you start to feel a little bit of compression in that low back. We call this therapeutic compression. Your right hand then reaches for your cat tail. If you cannot reach your foot or ankle, that's perfectly fine. Just energetically draw the arm downwards towards the foot or the ankle, and then allow yourself to relax into it. Your left arm is a lever. It can just lay down to the side, or you can rest it on your right thigh if that feels good. Then gaze over your right shoulder, and I'll start the timer for us now. And allow yourself to fully surrender into it. So twists are a good opportunity to kind of wring out toxicity and dead cells. So we're like a sponge, constantly absorbing stuff throughout the day. So in this hold, think about each breath in, nice purifying air. Each breath out, detoxifying, letting go, releasing. I always like to remind you that posture should never be painful in any way. So if you feel any sensation like a stabbing, burning, tingling sensation, it's a good indication you may have gone a little too deep too fast, or maybe the posture's not good for you. Simply back off, maybe even come out of the posture sooner if you need to. Occasionally the postures will feel a little uncomfortable. Sometimes the discomfort is a sign that change is happening inside of you. So there's a difference between it being uncomfortable and painful. It's up to you to become more aware of what's happening inside of you. This is why we call this practice a mindful practice. Mindfully observing and then mindfully relaxing into it. We're in your final phase here. Let the breath get a little deeper. Soften your grip if you're holding on to legs or feet or ankle. Soften your shoulders. Slowly start to draw your head back to center first. Then release your grip if you're holding on to your levers and start to unwind the spine very tenderly. Often the sensation will bloom as you are exiting the shape. So just notice that, passively observe. It's a temporary sensation. Make your way to flat back. The knees can be bent or you can lay the legs down flat. A moment here to pause in your rebound. Allow the fascia to creep back to its natural position. And now some yang activations to flush out the stagnation. Just move intuitively. It may feel good to hug the knees into the chest. A little sway from side to side is another option. You could take a happy baby here if that feels good for you. Legs up the invisible wall may be beneficial for you. And we'll prepare for the second side when you're ready. If you're using a prop, place your prop over onto the right side this time. With knees bent, feet on the mat, walk your feet over to the left side. Pick your hips up, guide the hips over to the left as well. Lay your right leg down flat. Left knee comes in towards the chest. Guide the leg over to the right. Readjust your hips as necessary so you can get into your spinal twist. If you're using the prop, place the prop underneath the leg. From here, bend your lower leg. So now you're scooting that right leg slightly back so you can start to reach for the foot if you're reaching for your foot or your ankle or your shin, or just energetically go in that direction. That's your cattail. From here, your right hand can be resting on the thigh, on the prop, or down beside you. If you chose to gaze over the shoulder, this time gaze over your left shoulder. Starting the 3-minute journey inwards now. So steadying your breath pace, nice, smooth, rhythmic inhalation and exhalation. Approaching the halfway point. Feel free to make any adjustments. Eventually settling into some stillness, relaxing into it as much as you can. Breathe in and let it go. Breathe in and let it go. Soften your grip if you're holding onto the foot or the ankle. Let the shoulders relax. Slowly draw your head to center. Unravel the spine. Make your way back to center with flat back. A moment here to pause. Knees can be bent or you can lay the legs down flat. Allow the bones to settle. Resist the urge to make sudden movements. Let the spine process that. Let's take a deep breath in and a clearing breath out through the mouth. Start to make some gentle movements. Once again, may feel nice to hug the knees into the chest. Or any other movements here that your body is calling for. We have one last posture, which is going to be a snail pose variation of your choice. Since we are all so unique and different, bone structures, postures will affect everyone differently. It's up to you to find the one that works best for you. So I'll give you some options to choose from. So this should be full decompression of the spine from low back to mid back all the way up to the cervical region of the spine. So I would suggest avoiding the full snail pose if you have any recent injuries or sensitivities around the neck or the upper back. There's modified variations that I'll start with as we begin. I like to use either a bolster or a block underneath the tailbone. So you can lift your hips up and place the prop underneath your sacrum area. From here, modified variation would be let the feet go up towards the sky. You can take a hold of the back sides of the thighs, the calves, maybe even the ankles as you start to draw the legs in towards the torso, almost kind of like you're forward folding here. Now from here, if you want to get deeper into the spine, you can use your hands to lift your hips up. You can place the hands around the hips or the low back. The legs can stay straight. You can bend the knees. This is the full variation of snail pose, lifting up and over. The feet can touch the ground. The legs can float. It may work better for you. So try a couple different options here. I'm going to start the timer for us. This one is going to be a 2-minute hold. If you need to come out sooner, please do so. Listen to your body. If you're in the full snail pose variation like I'm demonstrating, little sips of air. A little past your halfway point. Your final 30 seconds here. Feel the elongation down the spine, into the legs, creating the space with each breath in. And start to gently make your way down and out of the shape. And we'll go right into your final resting pose, shavasana, from here. If you have a bolster underneath your legs, you may want to just slide it down for your thighs to rest on. Give yourself at least 1 to 2 minutes here to fully relax, to recalibrate. You have now positively stressed the tissues in the body. Now it's important to rest the tissues. So just take a mental scan, see if there's anywhere you're holding on to any last bit of tension that you can let go of. This should be full relaxation. So once again, take a nice deep breath in and fill all the way up. Clearing breath out through the mouth. Stay in your final resting pose for as long as you would like. and enjoy. Namaste.